Hi guys, it's John. You are on the JRB Tree Climbing channel, and jrbtreeclimbing.com is my website. That's where I have links to the most relevant videos at any point in time. That's where I have pages for building climbing systems should you wish to do so, using the videos on my channel as a guide. One of the questions I get quite often is, how do I handle a leaning tree? And so I'm going to demonstrate that today with a real world climb. Here's a tree I've never climbed before, and I believe I'm standing roughly underneath the crotch that's roughly 32 feet, something like that, over my head. So it doesn't have a ton of lean, but it's got some, and the precise amount of lean really doesn't matter in terms of the technique, because as we get started, we will not have our feet on the tree for any kind of assistance. So if you've watched folks climbing moving rope systems, sometimes called DdRT climbers, they want their feet on the tree because that helps them with hip thrust. Then again, you'll watch SRT rope walk systems, and they actually don't want to be against the tree because they want both of their feet pumping. Well, with the JRB climbing method, it really doesn't matter. It's nice to have your foot on the tree for stability, but if we can't have it there, it's not a big deal. It does require just a little bit more balance, but the same basic technique, and I'll demonstrate that today. So I'm wearing my system. This is how I show up at the tree. Now, ordinarily in a hunting situation, I would just clip into my paracord loop, but I'm going to go ahead and use the throw ball today. This is my 75 feet of Resk Tech with two JRB ascenders, and there are videos on how to tie the JRB ascender. I'm going to pull a little closer to the camera here, get in an ideal position for the throw ball, which is in my pocket. I don't use a bag. That's just me, only because I like to be extremely minimalist about my systems. I have a very particular way I coil up my throw ball, and we'll do a video on that. I'm not saying she never gets tangled, but I do pretty well. And I've got two clips on the ends. So no Hollywood here, just real time how I climb. Now, throwing over a crotch that's 32 feet, you know, I might miss this the first time, and you're going to have to suffer through that. But you know, within, let's say, 3 tries, I should get this. Okay, here she goes. Oh, we got her on the first try. Now I just aim, especially this is a pretty easy throw relative to the height, but I just aim, you know, like 3 feet above the crotch, and that's pretty much where I put it. So you can see this is 50 feet of line in my hand, 50 feet of throw line, and it's a good, let's say, 7 feet off the ground. Okay, so that crotch is about 32 feet in height roughly, and you know, we take what we can get. Now sometimes, you know, when I'm rigging, I'll bring a little bit more line with me. So I've got both hands free. Normally I have a convention where I like to go up the right side of the tree and come down the left, and I definitely do that with my presets. But in this situation, the system is ambidextrous, so I'm going up the left side, coming down the right, no problem. It's all the same. I'm not going to take any time to tidy that up. We'll just leave that on the ground. Okay, so my system, as you're aware, has 2 bridges. I take my long bridge and I clip it into the JRB ascender hitches. Grab my garter hitch foot loop, which is in my bag. It's attached to my short bridge, so I couldn't have lost it on my walk in or anything like that. I look up and down the line to make sure I don't have any twists and turns. Put my foot in the foot loop. Now you can climb with either foot, but in this method, I really prefer to climb with one foot because the other leg helps me balance by shooting it out in front of me. Okay, let's sit down. So as you can see, I'm a good 6 feet away from the base of the tree. So here's the technique. When I stand, I don't monkey around at the apex of my stand. I don't monkey around there. As soon as I get to that apex, when I'm basically in free fall and there's tension on my foot, which is under my butt, under my center of gravity, I shove these two hitches. I'm not pulling them, I'm not pushing them. I am loosely holding them and shooting them straight up the line. That's it, okay? Now, I don't know if that looked difficult, but it's not. It's a little burst of energy that I use during the stand, and then I just shove those up. Okay, so let's say you weren't comfortable with the method yet. It's not a big deal to stand here, push one, push the other, but it is a little harder. It's a little bit harder. Once you master the technique and you realize, well, so what if you only put one up and you couldn't move the other one, or there's some sort of a problem? If I sit back down, the system rebalances itself. It moves in the crotch, and I'm back. So if there's ever, don't forget, you've got this garter hitch as a safety device. So it's always there to ensure that if your hitches aren't even, everything balances out. Okay, so now I got the system readjusted, and I'll resume my climb at a normal pace. And now I've got enough of the lean taken care of that the trunk is coming into focus for my foot. And it's just normal and instinctive to put your foot on the tree and give you a little bit of stability. The tree was leaning a little harder, I would just spend a little bit more time until my foot engaged. Okay, so there you have it. I'm somewhere neighborhood of 28 feet or so with my feet. I remove my garter hitch from the line. I'll immediately transition into rappel. And you know the drill. It's a Munter friction hitch on both lines. Take the slack out and then break my JRB ascender hitches. And again, the ability to break these and control them under load is just amazing. So again, I'll do this with one hand, 6mm cord on 8mm rope. I'm gonna break both of them while maintaining a firm grip with my left hand. And I am now into rappel mode. Now during rappel, I haven't started yet, right? I get these nice and loose. They're really loose. I could just move them with a finger, right? That's all I want for rappel. I want them really loose. And I hold them relatively close to me. They're just a backup. I mean, they're taking a little bit of friction on rappel, but most of it is in my hand. And you've seen me do it many times. if I let go of the rappel rope, those hitches bind. You can bring it up for a little bit more friction, down for a little less. There's no spin in that munter the way I showed you how to do it. I'll mention that we're in the middle of a heat wave here in Pennsylvania, and this is no big deal, right? You got to remember, this method's really efficient. We use little bursts of energy on the way up, and between them, we're sitting. We're just sitting in our saddle. That's not true of traditional methods like climbing sticks or climbing a ladder. The entire time we go up, even between rising moves, we're burning calories, holding on to the ladder, or with our quadriceps engaged, just holding us on. That's not true of this climbing method. Little bursts of energy, we pace ourselves. Again, there's some technique involved, and I do not underestimate that. I'm giving you everything I can to show you how I do it. And so I just wanted to give you that quick demo today. Thank you very much for your support.